There is a version of you living 10 years ahead, and the most painful part is that version of you is not built in the future. It is being built right now in silence. Every choice you make today is either sending you closer to that life or quietly pulling you away from it. And the truth is, nobody wakes up suddenly successful, confident, or emotionally strong. People become that version of themselves through small, repeated decisions when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and no one is saving them. Think about it. The life you want is not blocked by talent. It is blocked by habits. It is blocked by the people you keep entertaining, the excuses you keep repeating, the comfort you keep choosing over growth, and the fear you keep calling timing. And maybe this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because deep down you already know what needs to change, but you have been postponing it, hoping life will somehow fix itself. But life does not respond to hope, it responds to action, and the next 10 years will not ask what you planned, they will show what you actually did. So the question is not whether your life will change, the question is whether you will take control of it before it decides for you. Because one day you will either thank yourself for the discipline you built today, or you will sit in regret thinking about the version of you that never got a real chance to exist. The people you keep close are not just part of your life, they are quietly shaping the direction of it. Most people do not notice this because it never feels dramatic. It does not happen in one big moment. It happens slowly in conversations, in habits, in shared energy, and in the things you start to accept as normal. If you spend enough time around people who complain about everything, you slowly stop believing things can improve. If you stay around people who avoid growth, you start making excuses for your own comfort. And if you surround yourself with people who have no direction, you begin to feel like having no direction is also okay. That is how influence works. It does not force you. It slowly changes you. Now think about this carefully. Your mindset is not fully your own. It is shaped by repetition. The words you hear daily become your inner voice. The energy you absorb becomes your emotional baseline. The standards you see around you become the standards you accept for yourself. And this is why some people feel stuck, even when they are trying hard to change their life. They are trying to grow in an environment that keeps pulling them back. And here is something even more real. Not every familiar person is good for your future. Some people are connected to your past version, not your next version. They love the version of you that does not challenge them. They feel comfortable when you stay the same, but your growth will always make some people uncomfortable because your change forces them to look at their own stagnation. This is where courage becomes important. Not the loud kind of courage, but the quiet kind. The courage to protect your peace without needing to explain everything. The courage to distance yourself from conversations that drain your energy. The courage to stop giving unlimited access to people who give limited value in return. And most importantly, the courage to choose environments where your growth is not questioned, but encouraged. Because the truth is simple, your future will rarely rise above your environment. If your environment expands you, you expand. If your environment limits you, you shrink without even noticing. And one day you wake up realizing you have been living a smaller version of your potential simply because you stayed too long in places you should have outgrown. So if you want the next 10 years of your life to be different, start here. Look at your circle, not with emotion, but with honesty. Ask yourself a simple question. Do these people push me forward or do they keep me comfortable? Because your answer to that question might quietly decide everything that comes next. Your life is not shaped in one big moment. It is shaped in ordinary days that repeat themselves. Most people think change happens when motivation shows up or when life finally gives them a fresh start. But the truth is very different. Your future is being built in the smallest actions you repeat when nobody is watching. The way you start your morning, the way you respond to stress, the way you spend your free time, the things you do automatically without thinking. These are not small details. These are the foundation of everything you will become. The scary part is that bad habits never feel dangerous in the beginning. Sleeping late feels harmless. Scrolling endlessly feels like a break. Ignoring your goals for just today feels okay. But habits do not stay small. They grow quietly. One lazy day becomes a week becomes a month, and slowly, without realizing it, your life starts moving in a direction you never planned. Not because you made one big wrong choice, but because you repeated small choices without thinking. On the other side, strong habits also do not feel powerful at first. Waking up early feels uncomfortable. Working on yourself when you don't feel like it feels slow. Choosing discipline over distraction feels boring in the moment, but these small actions carry something powerful inside them. Consistency. And consistency is what separates people who dream from people who actually become. And here is something most people ignore. Your habits are not just actions, they are identity builders. Every time you choose discipline, you are telling yourself, I am someone who follows through. Every time you break your own promise, you are quietly teaching your mind, I cannot trust myself. Over time, this shapes how you see yourself more than any outside opinion ever could. This is why so many people feel stuck even when they want change badly. They try to change their life without changing their habits, but it does not work like that. You cannot build a new life using old patterns. If your daily routine stays the same, your results will stay the same no matter how much you wish for something different. And the most powerful truth is this: success is not a sudden transformation. It is a slow accumulation of small, disciplined actions that most people are too distracted to repeat. The person you become in 10 years is already hidden inside what you do today, when no one is forcing you, no one is watching you, and no one is clapping for you. So the question is not whether habits matter. The question is whether your current habits are quietly building the life you actually want, or slowly stealing it from you while you call it normal. One of the hardest truths in life is this: not everything you are holding on to is meant to stay. Some things are only there to teach you, not to keep you, but most people do not realize this in time. They stay longer than they should. They explain more than they need to. They give chances that slowly turn into patterns of disappointment. And without noticing, they start losing pieces of themselves while trying to save connections that were already broken. Walking away is never easy because human emotions are attached to memories. You do not just think about what is hurting you today, you also remember what once felt good. The laughter, the promises, the maybe this will change moments. And that is where people get stuck. They confuse history with direction. Just because something was meaningful does not mean it is still healthy for your future. There comes a point where staying becomes heavier than leaving. You start feeling drained instead of peaceful. You start questioning yourself more than you question the situation. You start shrinking just to avoid conflict. And slowly you begin to lose your natural energy, your clarity, and even your confidence. That is not love, and that is not growth. That is emotional exhaustion disguised as loyalty. And here is something most people never hear clearly: not every connection is meant to last forever. Some people are only aligned with a certain version of you. The version of you that tolerated too much, accepted too little, and ignored your own needs just to keep things from breaking. But when you start growing, that version disappears. And with it, some relationships naturally stop fitting. The real turning point in life is when you stop forcing what is not flowing, when you stop trying to fix what keeps breaking you, when you finally accept that peace is more valuable than familiarity. And yes, it takes courage because walking away means facing silence, uncertainty, and sometimes loneliness. But what many people do not realize is that wrong company keeps you stuck in emotional noise, while solitude gives you clarity. And slowly, something changes inside you. You start breathing differently. You start thinking more clearly. You start remembering who you were before you started compromising yourself. And that is where healing begins. Not in holding on tighter, but in letting go gently. Because sometimes the most powerful decision you will ever make is not what you choose to keep, but what you finally choose to release. And even though it hurts at first, that release becomes the space where your next level of life finally begins to enter. The way you see yourself is quietly shaping everything around you, even when you do not realize it. Before any result shows up in your life, there's already a belief sitting underneath it. A belief about what you deserve, what you are capable of, and what is possible for someone like you. And most people never question these beliefs. They accept them as facts even when they are not true. If deep down you believe you are not good enough, you will hesitate in moments where you should act. If you believe people always leave, you will start expecting loss even in healthy situations. If you believe success is for other people, you will unconsciously hold yourself back from opportunities that could change everything. And this is how life slowly starts matching the story you tell yourself in your mind, not the potential you actually have. The most powerful thing about belief is that it controls behavior without asking for permission. You do not need to consciously decide to limit yourself. Your mind does it automatically through fear, doubt, and hesitation. You see an opportunity, and instead of stepping forward, you start overthinking. You see a chance to grow, and instead of trying, you start imagining failure. And slowly, you begin to live in a cycle where your thoughts become your barriers. But here is what most people never hear clearly. Confidence is not something you are born with, it is something you build through action. Every time you do something uncomfortable and survive it, your brain learns something new about you. It learns that you can handle more than you thought. It learns that fear is not always a warning sign. Sometimes it is just a threshold before growth. And every small action like that slowly rewrites your identity. The problem is, many people wait to feel confident before they act. But confidence does not come before action, it comes after it. It is built in motion, not in waiting. You do not think your way into a new identity, you act your way into it. And every action either strengthens the old belief or creates a new one. And this is where transformation really begins. The moment you stop speaking to yourself like someone who is stuck and start treating yourself like someone who is capable of becoming more. The moment you stop repeating old stories about who you are and start creating new evidence through your actions. Because your mind does not change from motivation, it changes from proof. So the real question is not what the world thinks about you. The real question is what you have decided to believe about yourself in private. Because that silent belief is what is quietly designing your confidence, your choices, your relationships, and your future. And once you understand that, you realize something powerful. If belief built your current life, then changing your belief can rebuild everything that comes next. One of the most dangerous habits in life is not failure. It is delay, because failure gives you feedback, but delay gives you nothing. It slowly steals time while making you feel like you are still in control. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. You say you are not ready yet. You wait for the right mood, the right moment, the right energy. And while you are waiting, life keeps moving forward without you. Most people do not notice how much they are postponing their own life. They are not fully living, and they are not fully growing either. They are stuck in between. Thinking about change, planning change, talking about change, but not actually becoming it. And this in-between space becomes dangerous because it feels safe. It feels like progress, even when nothing is changing. And the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be something missing. You will never feel 100% ready. There will always be fear, doubt, or uncertainty in some form. But waiting for perfect conditions is just another way of choosing comfort over growth. And comfort is very convincing because it feels peaceful in the moment, even when it is slowly limiting your future. Many people lose years of their life, not because they made one wrong decision, but because they kept postponing thousands of right ones. They postponed starting, they postponed healing, they postponed improving their health, their mindset, their relationships, their skills, and slowly time turned those delays into regret. Because what you delay today does not disappear, it accumulates. And here is something important to understand. Life does not punish you loudly. It does not stop and warn you. It simply moves on. Opportunities pass. People change. Your energy shifts. And one day you look back and realize the version of you wanted to become was always possible. You just kept pushing it away for later. But the most powerful truth is this: change does not require perfect timing. It requires decision. The moment you decide, Even imperfect action starts shifting your direction. It may feel small at first, almost insignificant, but consistency turns small beginnings into completely different outcomes. Every step you take today is quietly rewriting what your future will look like. And this is where urgency matters. Not panic, not pressure, but awareness. Awareness that time is not waiting. Awareness that your future self is being created by your present discipline or your present delay. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start, not because you are incapable, but because hesitation becomes a habit. So the real question is not whether you can change your life someday. The real question is whether you are willing to stop postponing it today. Because one day, you will realize something very simple but very heavy. The life you always wanted was never far away. It was just delayed long enough to become a different version of you who never took the first step. So if you are still watching this, then something inside you already knows this message is not just motivation. It is a reminder that your life is not stuck. It is waiting for you to make decisions you have been avoiding. Waiting for you to stop overthinking every step and start trusting your own ability to grow through it. Because the truth is simple, nothing changes until you change how you respond to your own life. Not tomorrow, not next month, but in the small moments you keep ignoring today. And maybe you have been carrying too much. Too many people who do not value you. Too many thoughts that make you doubt yourself. Too many delays that keep pushing your dreams further away. But here is what you need to understand. You do not need a perfect plan to start changing your life. You just need one honest decision to stop living on autopilot. Your next 10 years are not written yet. They are being written right now in how you think, what you allow, and what you finally decide to walk away from. And one day, you will look back at this exact version of yourself and either thank yourself for choosing discipline, courage, and self-respect, or wonder why you kept waiting for the right moment that never came. So take a breath and be honest with yourself. Are you building a life you are proud of, or just repeating one you are tired of? Because the answer to that question is where everything begins. And if this message hit you even a little, don't ignore it. Like this video, subscribe for more content like this, and comment one word that describes the life you are ready to build from today.